Jebner model of communication proposed in the year 1956. It was proposed by George Jebner. He is one of the pioneers in the field of communication research. Here, E is a event, M is a man or a machine, E1 is a perceived message by the M, then S is a signal or form, E2 is a content which is created by the M. Okay, so here E is a something, an event which is taking place within the life of an individual. So E can be a part of your life, something which has happened in your life, or maybe it is part of your social environment, an event which has taken place within the social system. So he is a event. Then M is a machine or a person who is witnessing this event which is happened somewhere else within the life of a person called M. So M can be a machine or a man who is perceiving about this messages. E or the event is something which is called E1. So here, if you see the E is a whole event. Maybe it has happened 1 hour or 2 hours. For example, if it can be a public meeting, etc. Maybe M is going to that public meeting, but M will not be able to perceive the whole event E. So what he or she perceives is something which is called E1. So there are three factors which affects the M in perceiving the information regarding the E event. So selection, context, and availability. So here M is selecting the information out of the whole event. E is something which is relevant for him, or the information which he thinks it is important for him or for the self. Okay, the context is nothing but the purpose of the communication. So E event may be happening somewhere, and M is perceiving only depending on the why he needs that communication, depending on what the purpose he has. And availability is nothing but depending on the attitude, depending on the behavior, depending on the mood of the M, a message can be perceived in the way the M wants to perceive. As you already know, E can be a television serial or maybe a movie. What you perceive, maybe you are watching 3 hours movie, but what you perceive is something only some scenes or some dialogues or some songs you may perceive which you think is important. But the whole 3 hour story you may not be able to narrate for the others. Okay, so E is something the whole event, but what you as an individual perceive is called E1. So, for example, if you are a reporter, you are maybe attending a public meeting, what you perceive is only a part of the E which you want to convey for the larger audience using the channels of mass media. Then that is going to be transmitted for the larger number of audiences. So here, that is the first one. When you are perceiving event by the M is something which is called perceptual dimension, that is showing the relationship between the communication agent M and the world of event, that is called E. So this perceptual dimension is explaining the relationship between the E and also the M. E is a event, M is a machine, or M can be an individual who is perceiving some messages or who is perceiving the event which is called as E. So then there is one more dimension, that is means control dimension. Here, okay, here what is happening? M is an individual who is perceiving something called E1. So here what is happening? Again, M is acting as the source of communication for communicating the messages regarding the event for the larger audience. When he is communicating, he is acting as a source of communication. Okay. So what he is perceived is something, the information which is called E1. So what again he generates or he creates a message is something which is called as E2. Okay. E2 is a message which is created by the M. So when he is creating a message also, it depends on the mood, the attitude, background, or the behavior of the M, which play an important role in communicating or creating the message which is for the larger audience, that is called E2. So whatever is communicated by the M, after perceiving the whole event E, what he perceives is even what he creates for the larger audience is something which is called as E2. So S is something which is the way of presenting the information, or it is a form, or in that way the communication is going to be delivered for the larger number of audience. So S is a signal or a form that is something. E2 is in the form of S, then that is going to be delivered for the larger audience. So what he is delivering for the larger audience is something which is called SE2. Okay, this SE2 is a message in the form that is going to be transmitted using the various channels of communication by the M. So this SE2 is transmitted using various channels of communication by the M. So here the information when is transmitted for the larger audience, which explains the relationship, that is called means control dimension, that is explaining the relationship between the communication agent, that is called as M, and communication product is nothing but what is being created by the M. Communication product is a message or some information which the M is going to communicate for the larger audience. So here there is an important element is something which is when M is creating a message for the audience, the depending on the beliefs, attitude, behavior of the M, based on that only he or she is communicating a message or creating a message that is called SE2, and that is going to be transmitted for the larger audience. So here again when SE2 is transmitted using various mass media channels of communication, again who is perceiving? The audience is perceiving the message from the mass media channels. So here the audience are becoming as the M1. Then the audience, for example, if it is a communication, when you are watching a television show or maybe you have seen a movie, what happens? You are becoming as the source of communication, and what you are explaining to the other family members is something SE2. So here the other family members may again become the source of communication. They become like M2. What they communicate is what they perceive again becomes a SE3. Okay. Then the SE3 after they perceiving, what they communicate will become SE4. So the process will continue uh, along with when the communication is taking place. So here M is a television or newspaper reporter. E is a accident or something which happened in their life. RM is the one who is assigned a beat to cover this event or the accident called E. So depending on the selection, context and availability of the M, he or she may perceive something which is called E1, or what M thinks it is important for communicating with the larger audience or masses using their medium of communication, etc. Then whatever he or she thinks, it is important that only information which the M perceives. So again, what the M is going to create is something which is depends on the M. So altogether, sometimes when a message is delivered for the larger audience by the sources of communication, sometimes when it is reaching again and again the other individuals in the society, altogether sometimes the message may also be a different one. So M may communicate, the context of M may be different when that is been received by the M1, the context may be different, and what M1 communicates, what M1 is perceiving is SE3, what they create is SE4, maybe a different one when you compare with the SE2. So everywhere when a person's sources of communication are there, M or M1, M2, M3, the process may continue, and M are the sources of information, whoever is there, they add their own interpretation to the existing message, and they are adding their own opinion to the message what they received, and that is going to be again created for the other audiences. So in that way, the messages may be sometimes altered. For example, if M is an individual or the reporter, depending on the policy of the newspaper or depending on the policy of a broadcast media channel, etc., only the M can communicate. And in the same way, if it is interpersonal communication, also sometimes what you perceive is something different, what you communicate will be different. You are adding your own opinion to the message which you receive from the other individual, etc.